welcome back to the channel. I'm your host Mello signing in, and in today's video we're going to be answering the question, why didn't Sasuke bring other people along with him to rescue Naruto from Momoshiki in the anime? Now when we take a look at this image here, we know that Momoshiki and of course Kinshiki invaded Konoha's Chunin exams. They launched an attack that threatened to destroy everything, and as we all know, Sasuke and Naruto fought together to protect the villagers. As a result, Naruto gets captured. Now although Naruto does manage to get himself captured, we know that there are still very powerful shinobi in Konoha currently, namely the 4 Kage that are remaining. So of course here we have the Raikage, Tsuchikage, Mizukage, Kazekage, all the Kage. And of course, we do know that Sasuke brings along with him Boruto Uzumaki as his little trump card, his secret weapon with the vanishing Rasengan, as it were. So why then didn't he bring other people? Because remember, this is the Otsutsuki threat that is supposedly beyond Kaguya Otsutsuki herself, and we're going to need a lot of people to deal with them, one would imagine. And we also have a lot more powerful shinobi at our disposal, which will show up here. So when we pull up this image right here, we see Kakashi, okay, Lord Sixth, and of course he has his purple lightning, extremely powerful. We have of course Hinata, who you shouldn't sleep on with the whole Hammer's chakra, that's very cool. And naturally, Sakura Haruno / Uchiha, who is fighting Shin Uchiha in base with no Byakugo seal, definitely a Kage tier combatant indeed, probably better than Chochiro, one would imagine, and you would imagine you would want a healer in the field along with you. Of course, Himawari's probably the strongest one there with her hidden potential, but that's a video for another day. And of course, we have other characters that would be of use in Konoha as well. So if we take a look here, we do know that Shikamaru Nara was there as well. His shadow paralysis was very useful against Kinshiki and Momoshiki in the Chunin exams arena. And of course, another important character could be Sai, who is very skilled himself. So why then didn't Sasuke bring more people along with him? Well, the answer is pretty self-evident. It's pretty easy, okay? So let's take a look at what was happening currently here. We do know that Momoshiki and Kinshiki were attacking Konoha, but there was another Otsutsuki present along with them, and his name was Urashiki. Now we know that Urashiki, right, was taking on the 2 Kage, that being Gaara and the Mizukage, so we know what kind of threat he actually is, what kind of threat he poses. Right? This is going to be this scene here. They weren't at their full power, sure, but we will later on learn that he's taking on Gaara of the desert in the desert, and of course full power Sasuke Uchiha, and they cannot defeat him. Right? They're trying to protect Shukaku, the One Tails, from of course Urashiki from taking his chakra, but these 2 combatants alone can't do it. And of course, Chochiro and Gaara, they can't do it either by themselves. So we have an understanding that Urashiki is a major threat, obviously Kage plus, god tier, one may say, him being a god in this verse. So we definitely need to deal with this guy, right? So the problem is, Momoshiki and Kinshiki are fearsome in and of themselves. And we have the 4 Kage along with Sasuke, and of course Boruto as a trump card, and maybe we rescue Naruto, we can add him onto the ranks as well, but we cannot put all of our eggs in one basket. In this scene, you see that they say also, one intruder went into hiding, right? There's a good chance he's still lurking close by. This is Shikamaru telling his squadron to look out for one Ishiki Otsutsuki. Now after this, Shikadai shows up and he says, shouldn't we send reinforcements? He's talking about sending reinforcements to the dimension where Sasuke, the 4 Kage, and Boruto went to rescue Naruto. How they would get there, the world may never know. But he is suggesting that they may need some assistance. And of course, Shikamaru says later on, hey, are you doing this because you're concerned about Boruto? And of course he is. Now Shikamaru then goes on to tell him, we don't even know if the enemy will launch a second wave of attacks, right? This is going to be, of course, Urashiki launching an attack on Konoha, which they are trying to prepare for. So this is super important, because now we have an understanding. And of course, Shikadai, after he kind of like realizes what's going on here, who will protect this place, the Hidden Leaf Village? And then later on he says, we will, right? We'll protect Konoha. I'm gonna go link up with everybody else to do that. Even if you kind of rewind the clock a little bit, Sarada wants to go, of course, with Boruto and Sasuke. And of course, she's the only bearer of the Sharingan if Sasuke falls. He tells her to stay with Kakashi and Shikamaru to protect this place. Remember, again, there's another Otsutsuki lurking about. We need powerful shinobi to protect Konoha. And of course, Kakashi speaking here, leave everything here to us. So we have an understanding that there are 3 Otsutsuki in total that we know of so far. 2 of them have captured Lord 7th, and we're assembling a very powerful squad to go after them, with Boruto being the wild card. However, there is still a 3rd Otsutsuki threat that is still out there, and we need to contend with him. And we know he's powerful because he takes down Gaara and Chochiro when they 2v1 him. And then also he's very sneaky, and that's how he was able to absorb the chakra of one Sage Mode Mitsuki. And then later on, which they don't know because they can't see the future, but later on we know he's such a threat that he can deal with a full power Sasuke and Gaara in the desert, which gives him an ample and would imagine. And of course he's fighting a whole One Tails as well, and multiple other characters, right? Like Kankuro, Tamari, Boruto, Shinki, so on and so forth. So Urashiki is a threat to be taken seriously, right? So that's the reason why you don't see him bring a Kakashi or a Sakura, who would have been a big help, or a Shikamaru whose shadow paralysis would have been a big help as well. Simply put, they needed people to stay in Konoha to defend against a second wave of attack that could potentially come. And we know that this was a good tactic because just before the time slip arc began in earnest, we do know that Urashiki used a diversion tactic, right? So basically he took Mirai, stole her chakra, which gave him access to her abilities, her genjutsu abilities, and deceived everyone, tricked one shinobi into letting everyone think that he was following Urashiki, and they set up this whole plan. They took all the major numbers that they had in the village to converge on Momoshiki, or rather to converge on Urashiki and launch an attack. However, this was a distraction, as he says here, and now the village is totally open. Look here, the village's defenses have been reduced in number. They got played. So it makes a lot of sense. This does happen in the future, however, it all plays out. This guy is very strategically sound, Urashiki, and you need to be extremely careful with a combatant like this, right? I mean, even before this occurred, he managed to steal Sasuke Uchiha's chakra to the point where he was nerfed for a very long time after this. One distraction was enough for him to take out Six Paths Sage Mode Renegon Sasuke, okay? So this guy's definitely a threat to be taken seriously, as I mentioned prior. This is the reason why a lot of people were having questions about this that I saw, and now, you know, it's answered, right? Asked and answered. Why did Sasuke Uchiha not take more people along with him to contend with a supposed threat beyond Kaguya? Well, we had another Otsutsuki lingering about the place, and we had to deal with that Otsutsuki threat just in case a second wave of attacks were launched against Konoha. They needed powerful shinobi to be there, like Shikamaru, like a Kakashi, like a Sakura, like a Hinata, so on and so forth. And this would be an accurate conclusion to arrive at, right? This would be a good choice to make, because later on in the series we learn that he is very devious and he deceives Konoha into converging a large bulk of their defense to one location. The village's defenses have been reduced in number, allowing him to have the village totally open so that he can achieve his goals. But let me know what you think in the comment section down below about this particular topic. Why do you think Sasuke Uchiha didn't bring more people along with him? Do you agree with my perspective, or do you have a different opinion? Let me know down below. I think I'm on the money, but maybe you have a different angle I haven't thought about, so I would love to hear from you guys. With that being said, I am your humble host Mello, signing out. So I'll catch you guys on the next one, but remember, never stop dreaming. Later.